Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another driver interview here on Rappin on Racing's Facebook page. I'm Tyler Harris, and I want to thank you all for taking the time to tune into this video. This interview is actually going to be with the driver of the number 42 sprint car, Sye Lynch. He's been a hot topic of discussion this offseason with his new deal with Baughman Racing. So we decided to sit down and talk with him for about 40 minutes about the season coming up, his new deal, and just to talk to him about a little other stuff too. Obviously his family lineage, and we've talked about his golf game for a little bit too, just to have some conversation. So what we're going to do with this interview actually is we're going to split this into two parts. So part one will be about 20 minutes, and the next part will be about another 20 minutes as well. Before we get into these interviews, I real quickly just want to thank our marketing partners here on Rappin on Racing. And of course, that's Alternative Power Sources, the Jennerstown Speedway Complex, Pittsburgh's Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, RPS Financial Services, and Thoma Meat Market. So, guys, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the interview with the driver of the number 42 sprint car, Sye Lynch. All right, fans, welcome to another rendition of the video interviews that we are doing with drivers around the Western PA region. And this one has been a hot topic this offseason, coming off of his new deal with Baughman Motorsports. I have with me number 42, driver of the number 42 sprint car. That's Sye Lynch. Sye, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey man, how are you? Thank you guys for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. It's a pretty easy decision to ask to have you on. Like I said, you've been a hot topic discussion, so let's just jump right into it. Talk to me about the new deal with Baughman Motorsports.
Yeah, no, it's been in the making for a while. It's been hard to go through all the rumors and everything, but it's been Josh and I have been friends for many years, and so we've always had that connection. And through racing with them in the past couple of years, we've obviously formed a greater connection with the Baughman family. So they were looking to change things up, towards the end of last year, and really the timing was perfect, and the connection was there. So we're thankful for it.
Absolutely. Did they reach out to you for that? How did that kind of all start?
Yeah, so I mean, Josh and I have always had great connection. We've talked many times on a very personal level, and then his father Mike, we became closer towards the end of last year, and one thing led to another. Discussions, they were obviously looking in other directions once Zarin, chose to go with the Roth deal, and so yeah, I mean, all options were kind of on the table. A lot of discussions were had, and I'm just really happy to be able to partner up with them to really make our Mercedes Motorsports number 42 hopefully even better.
Yeah, and you were talking to me a little bit before the interview, and you said it all kind of happened fast. You got the phone call, and you were out in Iowa before you know it. Talk to me about that story.
Yeah, so the way that things went down for them, they needed a hand out there at their facility in Iowa, and so we conversations were happening for a period of time, and then it all got pretty serious pretty quick, and by the end of one week and the beginning of next week, I had to be out there and in person. So yeah, I had to pack up and completely move out, and I was out there the entire time, and just got back less than 4 days ago. So finally back in PA, and excited to be here. But man, there was a lot of work to do out there. We did it right, and I think everyone's happy with what we've done so far. So we just got to keep working, and the racing is what I'm going to enjoy here soon.
And you got back to PA, and you had to get right back to work. You told me 3 weeks to get the car ready. You're doing an off season in 3 weeks.
Going to try to, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of help from my guys, and but yes, I mean, there's a whole lot of changes that are happening. There's a whole lot of new things that are happening logistically. We're on a new page, so to do things the way that combined we want them done. Yeah, it's all going to happen in a very short amount of time. It's already happening in a short amount of time, day by day. So very excited. From third person, it's going to look like this has been going on for months and months, but it's all very fast. So we're just trying to dot our I's, cross our T's, and the plan was to be at port, towards the middle to end of March, but we're just going to make sure that we're 100% ready, and there's plenty of races to happen this season. So if we can be ready, then we will go. But if we're not 100%, then we'll take our time.
And like you said, I read in a few interviews that you have done previously. You're looking at about an 80 race schedule. Is that still holding up pretty true?
Yeah, correct. I mean, really, and that wasn't even really searching either. I mean, in our area, we're close to Ohio, we're close to Eastern PA. Obviously, I still have my marquee events that I love to go to, the Kings Royal and the Knoxville Nationals, and we'd love to get to Knoxville a little bit more this year, and we're going to try to travel a little bit, but I give Western PA credit; they've stepped up and. They're trying to increase their purses. Sharon's going to have us more often this year. Obviously, a big topic is Western PA Speed Week. And like I said, so every race kind of fell perfectly in line. We didn't really have to choose between one or the other. And the schedule just very naturally came together. So we could do more. I mean, we easily could do more than 80. You could also have a bad first 2 months and you got to take 10 to 15 off. So it could go either way, but yeah, 75 to roughly 80 was pretty natural to come across.
That's a good problem to have. You talked about 80 races, and you could probably do more, and that's a good problem to have. You could always add more to the workload if you ever want to. So that's pretty cool. You talked about a lot of changes and a lot of new things, but are you going to be pulling some of the crew guys that you've had on your crew in the past to this new team and to this new deal, and how much other familiar stuff are you bringing with you to this new deal?
Yeah, correct. So all of my guys are still with me. I'm glad to have them all with me. We've formed a great connection and a bond. We're all actually, true friends, and that's tough for a lot of other teams. A lot of teams they have very qualified people, but they just don't have the connection. So or the chemistry. So we actually formed a chemistry and a connection, and I feel like they're all turning into great crew guys. So very thankful for that. Happy to have them with me. We will be operating out of my Pennsylvania shop here. So it's very good, and like I said, the partnership couldn't have happened better. So we're proud of what our Mercedes Motorsports 42 team has done over the short term that we've been racing, and we just hope that this gives us more room and flexibility to do things.
You mentioned your sponsor there, Mercedes Motorsports. Talk about some other sponsors that are coming on board for this deal as well.
Yeah, so we still have Mercedes Motorsports. We still have All American Framers. We're happy to welcome back Grumpy's Pizza, Diesel Snow and Landscape, Blair Construction, but also we have Baughman Motorsports, the Baughman family coming with us, and also Fisher Body Shop, and which we're just very thankful to have them as well, because they've been such a precedent in the sprint car world for so long, and also Dissolve Alloys. So yeah, I mean, some great partners from the Baughman side of things, and like I said, I mean, I think it's a great opportunity for us for sure. So we're happy to put all of our eggs in one basket and to just see what we can do.
Yeah, and let's talk about some of your expectations for this season coming up too. I'm sure you're ready to get your hands full. Let's talk about what you guys expect for this upcoming season.
Yeah, no, we've always kept it fairly simple, and that's why I think we've had kind of the versatibleness that we've had is just because we can go. We don't, and this is the funny part, I've never chased points at a single track, and I know we've finished in point systems before, but I've never been committed to Lernerville points. I've never been committed to any points that I've ever gone to. I just wanted to be competitive locally, and then if there was a show that we had if I had the finances to have the pit passes and the tires to go to other shows, to run with the best in the country, then I wanted to go do it. So that's kind of where we've always been. And for this year, our expectations are to just continue to grow, continue to get better. We're not going out there really holding ourselves to anyone else. There's a lot of great drivers and a lot of great opportunities out there for a lot of people this year. So I believe we can hold our competitiveness, and if you have the chemistry, if you have the competitiveness and the assets to do it, then results will come. So that's the mindset that I have going into it.
Now, I also read a little bit too about your schedule. Going back to that a little bit, are you going to be mostly running All Stars, or are you going to do like a high payout regional kind of schedule?
Yeah, we're gonna. I guess the thing that everyone likes to call it now is a true outlaw schedule, which I that's a little bit old school, but we're just gonna really hit or miss wherever we feel is right. So we are going to be in the Western PA region a fair amount, and we also are going to be traveling a fair amount as well. So we have a lot of All-Star shows on the schedule. We're blessed to have the All-Stars within 3 to 4 hours of home of us on a normal basis. So, that's going to be great. And also the Outlaws, they're doing great things as well. So they both sanctions have upped their purses. We're excited for that. So yeah, I think we can hit a lot of good shows this year. Obviously, the Kings Royal, doubling down on their purse and making it a 4-day event again, and the Knoxville Nationals. Ever since I went there 2 years ago, I've been itching to go back. We got the invite last year to go, which was great during COVID, but yeah, I'm really excited to get to those for sure.
Yeah, your successes, those tracks too, are definitely notable, and I'm sure that's kind of what helped help you get that deal a little bit too, because you've shown so much speed at those tracks. I mean, right off the top of my head, I can't quite remember, but I think you were fastest in your time trial at Eldora, and you did well at Knoxville too. Was it fastest in time trial, or was it a heat race win?
Yeah, both actually. So
Okay.
at the Kings Royal 2 years ago, it was a 4-day event again, and we locked into 3 out of the 4 events. That was the first ever time that I've seen or not seen it. I obviously saw it with my dad, but strapped into the racetrack, and it just felt great. I mean, it felt natural. The car was great every time. But yet again, you're going against 66 to 70 of the best cars in the country. And they're all racing for a living, so they're out for blood, and they're not out there to make friends. So yeah, it was a different caliber, but we had we were proud of what we did out there, and so we followed it up with Knoxville, and really just man, Knoxville is absolutely my favorite track. I mean, it just felt so natural the first hot lap session that I took around there. And we actually had a little bit of bad luck. We had a wing sideboard fall off. We had a fuel line disconnect. We had a power steering line break. I mean, we've had definitely some bad luck at Knoxville, but yeah, we did get quick time on Friday out of 86 cars. And then we did follow it up with a heat race win against David Gravel, who then went on to win obviously the Nationals on Saturday night. So no, we had good speed, and but like I said, I mean, those are the toughest guys in the country there. So nothing to hang our hat on, but just really excited to get back. And you never know, you could go and be out to lunch, or you could go and have more bad luck. So we just focus on what we can control.
Let's take a step back for a second and talk about your early stages of your career. When did you decide that racing is what you wanted to do, and how did you get into it? Where did you get your start?
Oh, I wanted to race my whole life. I mean, obviously watching my dad race every weekend of my life, I knew that was what I wanted to do. But he had a very busy schedule between working a full-time job and also completing the races that he wanted to complete. So yeah, for me to do go-karts or any early stages of racing was just never really in the cards. So between his work schedule and between the race schedule on his end, it just wasn't in it for me, really. And then I did get an opportunity with Joe Lockhart. He contacted me to potentially drive his 305, and honestly, that's where the ball started rolling. So yeah, I mean, we had some good success there, and then Bob McMillan offered me a ride in his 410, and I think we did about a half a season there, and yeah, it all kind of just trickled down from there. So it's a organic story for sure, but No, there was never a precedent that I was supposed to race or going to race, but just kind of naturally happened.
And that's the interesting thing too. You're a third generation driver, obviously Ed being your dad. But I think a lot of people just kind of assume that it was kind of just like a birthright in a way where you were just going to slide right into that car and you were going to be the driver. But that's not how it happened, from at least from what I'm understanding.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, my entire family, my grandfather, my dad, they had a high standard. Racing was never a hobby to them. This is something that can kill you. This is something that is trying to kill you. These cars, they're not trying to make friends. So, yes, it's very competitive. Yes, it's very expensive, but it's also very dangerous. So, no, it was never an option. It's not golf. It was never an option for me to just take it up. I had to earn it and prove it from day one. So yeah, no, it was never a hand me down situation. It wasn't that way for my dad either. So yeah, just a very tough love situation, but it made us who we are today for sure.
Now, you talked about a precedent that kind of like a level. With your dad's success and your grandfather's success, do you feel that there is a precedent set for you that you have to meet or exceed those levels that they set, or does that make it any harder for you, or are you just kind of doing your own thing and your success will tell itself over time?
Yeah, no, I've always tried to have the mindset that I'm just trying to carve my own path. I could never fill the shoes of what my father or my grandfather did, and I knew that from the beginning. So that's why I never, a lot of people, the main question I always get asked is why I never continued the 2L or just kept that paint scheme because it was so iconic. We probably could have sold a lot of T-shirts that way, but for me, it was never in the cards. I never wanted to, taint what he worked so hard to do. That was his success. That was his career. And for me, yes, we have the same last name, and yes, we have the same style, but it's a totally different. It's a new generation. It's a different generation. So I have to have my own success, and that is what it is on that end.
You talked about your number. Well, you talked about your dad's number 2L. Why did you choose 42?
Well, originally I wanted to be 24, and two because of my dad, and then four. I was trying to go off of 44 with my grandfather. One of his most iconic cars was 44, and then my uncle Chad Hill raced sprint cars as well, and his number was 44. So I wanted to be 24, and I was so annoyed the year that I was 24 because there was a lot of other 24, so I always had to be 24X or 24S or 24 something. So I the next off season, I said I'm just going to flip the numbers, and it actually worked out really well. We've never had to add an X or an S at the end of it. So 42 just stuck from there. Same sentimental meaning, just flipped it. So that was all.
Makes sense. I mean, that would kind of get annoying. I can't imagine. I can't imagine having like the number one. Like that's just such the most generic number, and you always see it on any lineup sheet. There's like always 6 or 7 of them.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So, what runs through your mind, like heading into a race, like when you're in the chute, ready to go out onto the track? I mean, is it different from a qualifying standpoint, or to a heat race, or to a feature, or is it all pretty much the same mentality? And if so, what is that mentality?
Well, I would believe that people that do this for a living would definitely, their answer would probably be it's all the same mentality. But for me personally, it's definitely not. I mean, whenever you're strapping into a hot lap session at a local track versus a hot lap session at the Kingsborough or Knoxville Nationals or Ohio Speed Week show or something like that, because there's a different precedent. Yes, it's generic to say you're always trying to win, but it's just a different mentality. It's a different feel. And especially qualifying, because in some of these bigger shows, and especially the All-Stars or Outlaws, qualifying is everything. So there's actually more pressure, in my opinion, during qualifying than any other time, because that'll make or break your night. And so, yeah, the mentality for that, and you have to lay down 2 perfect laps. And then, you can't have the excuse of another driver or anything like that. So it's just you in the car, and you have to go lay down the 2 best laps you can for the rest of the night. So, and then feature time, yeah, I mean, that's obviously what you're trying to get to. But, you have to control what you can control. And a lot of times, between trying to make yourself in the car and then maneuverability around all the other cars is not as easy as it sounds. It's not a video game. So you don't get that reset button, especially if you're the one that's building the cars and paying for the cars and tearing them down and everything. So, there's a time to go and there's a time to just accept, that there's another race and to roll it back in the trailer and try to make it faster next time.
I was going to suggest, I imagine it's probably different for feature time when you're rolling out, if you're starting on the front couple of rows as compared to starting in the back couple, or if you're taking a provisional. I'm sure it's a lot different when that's a situation.
For sure. Yeah, no, yeah. If you know that you're, you just know, if you're catching up to the pace car to line up in the A, and if the car just does not feel right, or if you believe that you missed it on the setup, logistically, it doesn't make sense to pound it off the wall. But there's a lot of guys that have that mentality to do it. So as we climb the ladder and try to get into these upper tiers of racing, that's how these guys are competing. So, they're just not taking no for an answer, and they're racing with their feet rather than their heads sometimes. So if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But, as long as the economics says otherwise, then you have to race that way.
If you're listening to this audio-wise, we're catching up with the driver of the number 42 sprint car, Sye Lynch. Sye, again, thank you so much for being on with us. Sticking with the mentality side, being a driver where you're racing, or you're working full-time, and then you're switching into a race mode Friday night, how does that happen in your mind, where you go from like work mode on a Friday to time to race? Is that an easy transition mentally?
For me, yeah, and I think it's just because of the precedent of the three generations. I watched my dad do it for so many years. What your mentality from Monday to Thursday versus Friday to Sunday are just two totally different styles of life. So, whenever you walk through that pit gate, it's everything on the other side of that pit gate doesn't matter, and it can't matter, honestly. So, there's a lot of, there's a lot of people that say that, we're there for fun and we're there for family, you're there for whatever. But at the end of the day, like I said, this is something that can hurt you, and this is something that costs a lot of money. So it's not a round of golf, and you have to do it as professional and as business-wise as you can. So, yeah, definitely pulling into the track, it's a different mentality. It's game time for sure.
So whenever you're talking about your career highlights, let's go over some of those real quick. What would you say is like the most notable thing so far in your career that you can kind of hang your cap on?
I think the best win that I've had that I in my opinion, would probably be the fast show at Sharon Speedway. That whole night just was a dream for me, just because we were, someone would have to fact check me, but I think we were 200s or 2000s off of the track record, which I don't think anyone's gotten close to in a while at Sharon. Very fast in qualifying. We started fourth in the heat, won the heat by a long shot, started, I believe, third in the A, and led every lap of the A. So we lapped up to, I believe, 9th place or 10th place, and just a very strong night for sure. And, racing against Cole Duncan and Lee Jacobs and people like that. And obviously the guys of Western PA, that was a good win for us. And then obviously I think last year, with COVID happening and it was the same mentality for everyone. We hurry up all off season to then just sit around and wait, for an extra 2.5 months. To have the mentality to stay focused. And we went to Roaring Knob last year. May 23rd was our first race whenever we were planning on racing at the beginning of March. And to come out and win there against Tim Schaefer and again, your Western PA guys, I think they were close to 40 cars, and track we've never been to, and just a great night there too. So, and then obviously, what we did at Knoxville and Kings Royal were also highlights as well. But in my opinion, that's all in the past, and I have even more I want to do at Eldora and Knoxville specifically. So we'll see what we can do.
Let's touch on Knoxville and Eldora real quick too. Obviously, your success with the fast qualifying, top in the heat race and stuff like that, all that is great. You show that you have speed. And then when it comes feature time, things kind of change a little bit, and at least from what we've seen in your career so far, the shift from qualifying to the heat races to the feature, it gets a lot tougher. Not only because you're racing against, especially in the sense of Eldora and Knoxville, you're racing against the best in the country at that point. But it seems that the we talked about this before the interview, and I didn't want to put this in a way that was any sort of disrespectful, but like you said, you take it more of a compliment. But how do you guys look to transition and take that success that you guys have had in qualifying and heat races and apply it to the features, especially with this new deal, especially with everything, all the new equipment that's coming in? Is that going to help you? And if so, on top of that, what are you guys planning to do differently to try to transition that success into the feature events?
Yeah, no, it definitely is one of those situations where it is absolutely the toughest part of the night for sure. There's no doubt about it. And the thing that I do take with gratitude is a lot of people. Yeah, we have made it look a little bit easier than I think a lot of people would like to admit. There's a lot of people that struggle to qualify to make the shows. But we take pride in that, and obviously it's a never-ending situation for us to try to progress and figure out the dirty air concepts, the slick track concepts, and stuff like that. And yes, we have a great package right now that is very versatile with different tracks, in clean air and qualifying and pre-race trim. So it's a totally different combination in an 8-lap heat race versus a 30-lap feature with fuel load and everything like that. So, and obviously experience is huge. These guys are racing 90 races a year, and that is more than what I've raced in 2.5 seasons combined. So, that is a huge precedent, not including the testing that they're doing and everything else. So, no, and you also have to realize that especially with these top-notch guys, they have full-time paid crew chiefs that get paid 6 figures a year, and this is their job. And for us, we call it redneck racing. We're just a couple farm boys on some farmland that we figure this stuff out ourselves. So, yeah, we've never had crew chiefs. We've never had anything. It's just been between my dad and my grandfather and myself. We are the brains behind it. So we admit we haven't figured it totally out, but we've definitely left our mark, and we're going to keep going. So I'm excited for this new venture, and yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting year for sure.
How much does your dad help you? You talked about your dad and your grandfather. How much do they help actually with the whole program? Are they there every single race, or how does that, or is it more of like a phone call away kind of thing? How's that relationship kind of working out racing wise?
Yeah, my grandfather passed away 2 Decembers ago,
Yes.
but man, he was definitely anyone who knows him knows he did not BS you by any means. He told you how it was, and he told you when you sucked, and he told you he kind of told you when you did well. He would just grin for the most part, but no, he was always hands-on, always checking over what we were doing in the shop. So we missed him for sure. And then for my dad, he actually continued to work, and for a long time he was working out of the state. Missed a fair amount of my races due to that, but always a phone call away, no doubt about it. And he really has done a good job to let me figure things out for my own, but yet also be there to tell me whenever I'm way off, or if I'm correct or incorrect on certain things. So no, we definitely bounce a lot of ideas off of each other, and but yeah, no, it's we keep it close. You know what I mean? We don't really let things up for grabs. A lot of people I don't think understand exactly the true knowledge my dad had, and the pioneering that he did in the sprint car industry for many years. So no, we don't take it for granted at all.
Let's talk about your grandma's contribution to the sport as well.
Oh man, yeah, no, you could have an entire show just on that. But
You ain't kidding.
yeah, no, she's done a lot. She's already actually in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. A lot of people, I think, forget that. And no, she's done so much, not only for Western Pennsylvania. You're talking about Western PA Speed Week. She actually did that. That was her deal. Obviously, an extreme affiliation with the All Stars, and many years of Ohio Speed Week and everything like that. So in the PA Ohio area, I think this generation tends to not realize it, or maybe people just aren't talking about it as much. But Gene Lynch had a lot to do with where racing is today, especially in this area alone. So no, she's anyone that knows her respects her without a doubt. So we actually just got back from Tampa. She did over 40 years of promoting down there at East Bay. And, great that they did the Gene Lynch Classic for her. And she was very happy that she could be there and that we could all be there for that. So, she designated her life to sprint car racing. And we're just trying to make the memory known for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it perfectly there, where racing wouldn't in Western Pennsylvania and Ohio wouldn't be what it is without your grandmother's contributions, and I think that's why it's so important to talk about it. Is because we don't want to forget that as race fans, and people who are maybe new to the sport. We don't want them to miss out on that information as well. What she's done for the sport has been phenomenal, and I'm just learning about it. I'm 28 years old, and I learn more about it and through conversation with people, and it's just great. And can't be more fortunate to be from such a family of great lineage. I mean, it's such a great racing family, and it's got to be cool just to be a part of it, and to be a fly on the wall of that race shop sometimes. I bet you it'd be something else.
Yeah, no, it is really special, especially with what I've been doing the past 4.5, 5 months, to be at such a top-notch facility, but then to come back and to be at the shop where, my entire family has raced out of, there's just nothing that compares to that. So, my dad had over 235 feature wins. My grandfather had many wins, and we're still going. 3 generations into the same race facility. So no, it's had a lot of history. We've kept things a lot of it the same. No, and it's I hope someday it turns into a museum. But no, a lot of people, they've never had the opportunity to come see our shop, and like I said, we take that pretty serious. So maybe someday, whenever I'm out of it, then we can we'll open it up and let people have public viewing of it, because I think there's a lot of cool things, a lot of history in that place for sure, in those walls.
Some of the history actually is all the way out on Robinson at the Quaker Steak and Lube above the bar. If anybody has ever been there, they've seen a 2L Apollo Rocket Ed Lynch Jr. race car hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah, we actually, we have them there. We have them in Cleveland at Quaker Steak and in Cincinnati. So, the funny thing is, the Lynch property here, my dad and grandfather actually used to bury their race cars after they were done with them, because they never wanted to race against them. So the days of today where people go to flea markets and sell their cars, if you had a fast car, we used to bury them here. So I still have never sold one of my cars. So a lot of the traditions that old school racers would know, we still carry those on a little bit today, as much as we can, today.
Well, maybe we'll have to set up a little tour of the Lynch race shop if you'd be so willing.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how everything goes, and at some point for sure, I think a lot of people would appreciate that. But no, it's great legacy, and especially in this area, and no, we're very grateful to be able to continue it for sure, and especially with the great partners that we have this year, and it just means the world to us. So. Bringing the Baughman family on and their help, and Mercedes Motorsports and the help that we've had. Now we're really excited for it. So it means the world.
We talked about your new equipment, and at one point too, you talked about just a complete a completely new car and a new chassis. What are you guys running this year? And who's your engine
Yeah,
builder?
correct. Oh, yeah, we were with the J&J family for many, many years. We are actually switching to Triple X this year. So, that's a huge, huge shift. And it took a lot of consideration, took a lot of thought. And that's probably the biggest question mark as far as the team and as far as me driving personally. Biggest question mark that I have going into this year is a lot of the things that you knew over the past couple of years and the notes that you have, they're not going to be as compatible, with these other chassis. So, we have a lot to adjust to right off the bat, but at the end of the day, it's, it is what it is, just business. So we'll put our best foot forward and we're looking forward to it for sure.
Absolutely. Let's talk about away from racing real quick. What do you
Yeah.
like to do in your free time? What do you, I mean, obviously we're a racing, we're a racing family or whatever, but
Yeah.
you got to have something to do in the free time where, it's not racing related.
Yeah, no, I actually love to golf. I used to golf in high school. And the funny part is, all of my career guys, none of them were into golfing at all. And so we decided to slowly start going. I think it was either 2 years ago or mainly last year. And I have them hooked. They're all really looking forward to it. And with our busy schedule, we were having a meeting and they're like, well, when are we going to get to golf? And I was like, I don't know. But no, we all really enjoy the golfing and we have more fun with it than anything. And I think it's just a great way to go release and have a couple drinks. And, yes, we have roughed up a golf cart once or twice, but no, it's a great time. But no, golfing for sure. Really anything else. I mean, we live in the country out here, so we ride quads. We do a lot with that. But if I could pick anywhere, I'd be at a beach for sure. Any type of beach has my heart. And I've always said after I take my final lap in a race car, I will be at a beach for the rest of my life for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So, any good golfing stories that you're allowed to tell?
Oh man. Shoot. Well, we have a golf course that's kind of close to us, and I'm sure people that know us in obviously we're in the Apollo area. They would know which course. I'm not even gonna have to
As they
name
say,
it.
yeah,
But
don't go selling people out.
no, 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 not going to. I still actually go there. So, but the rules are a little bit more relaxed than other places, and man, we have just had a crazy time on that golf course. But just we've rolled a couple carts and we've had to pay for them, and we've lost a couple golf clubs, and no, but we that place is kind of just cutthroat, and but we do like to go to some fancier places and try our hand at that. But and anyone who's gonna criticize me, we do have golf etiquette, but obviously it's a little bit more fun if you can have a couple drinks and race the golf carts. So that's all.
Of course, it has to translate from the racetrack to the golf course. I mean, that completely
It
makes sense.
it tends to happen because my career guys have a little bit, they like to rough me up a little bit any chance they get. So that's when it comes out.
And you didn't throw that 7-iron. It wasn't like it just kind of slipped, right?
100%. Yeah,
Right.
I actually, this is a funny one real fast. I was at Oakmont. I had the honor of playing there. I was at the driving range and I was being very serious and trying to get ready for my round. And I was practicing driving and the head of my driver flew off and went down the driving range there, and that was by far the most embarrassed I've ever been. I didn't even play my round that time, so
Oh
because I didn't have
no.
a driver, so I couldn't. I
Yeah.
mean, like, well, yeah. So that was very tough situation on that end with golf.
Jeez, oh man, that's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. So yeah, and I wasn't even messing around or anything. I just clubbed the ground and yeah, and it came off and went halfway down, and all the very professional people of Oakmont were judging me very hard. So
It was this bum. Get him
right,
out.
right, yeah, yeah.
You got a
So
handicap?
that was, yeah, yeah. So no, it was fun, but no, I loved to play in high school, and my dad actually, he's the one that told me to get involved in golf, just because with him being so affiliated in business, he's landed a lot of deals are made on the golf course. And ironically, I'm not going to name any names, but two of my current partnerships that I have, agreements were on the golf course. So it is a very professional aspect, and for any up and coming driver, I would definitely recommend it, because it's not as it's not as strict of an atmosphere of having to sit down in an office. You can go to a golf course and still have one-on-one time with them and discuss, and maybe place a little bet on the hole and see what you can come up with. So
Have a drink and have a stogie and just kick
yeah,
back. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a handicap, or you not
No,
play that serious?
we in high school I did, but no, we tried to keep score at the beginning of last year, and then I noticed that some were fibbing and all this stuff. So and then it turned into arguing. So we don't even keep score anymore. We enjoy to just go, and my crew guys are going to give me so much crap I know they're going to watch us and they're going to give me crap for this, but maybe this year we'll get strict again, and we'll start playing with scorecards and all that stuff. But I did take it away. I said, because and then my one crew guy started bringing chapstick and was putting chapstick on the club to reduce the slice and all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, we're getting way too involved here. So, yeah, it got out of hand.
I just deal with it. Anything over like 10, obviously 10's the limit anyways, but I just quit
Right.
counting after 10. Whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's awesome,
Yep.
man. Well, hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for sitting down with us. And, I hope that the fans at home enjoy this. Again, if there's any drivers that you want to hear from, fans, just let us know in the comments section down below. And we hope you enjoy this interview with Sye Lynch. Sye, I can't thank you enough again. You were just telling me before, if I didn't text you an hour before this, you would have forgot to make it over, because you're just busy in the race shop trying to get the car together. So
Yeah.
I know you got a lot going on, and I appreciate your time. And hey, best of luck in 2021, and I'm sure Western PA is gonna be pulling for you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It means a world to us. We have been very, very busy, but no, I'm glad that we could have this, and I'm really excited to see everyone, excited to see the fans, and just excited to get back out there. So we have a great opportunity in front of us, and we're working hard and looking forward to 2021.
Awesome, sounds good, Sye. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.